Greetings everyone, Truth Will Rise back with a new video, and what I wanted to get into real briefly today was the public education system in this country, or as I have heard it dubbed, and rightfully so, the public miseducation system. Because one of the things that you often hear as it relates to the public education system is that, oh, we need more money for the schools, yada, yada, yada. And that's why test scores are falling and people, are not being, quote unquote, educated. And that's actually not the case. Because, one, let me say this. The problem with public education in terms of, in the United States, in terms of math, aptitude, and all these other things are falling in relation to other nations, and all of the ills and ails of public education. Like most other issues in this country, be it, quote unquote, the war on drugs and the war on terror and all these other things, are pre-planned, and those that have done the planning are getting precisely what they ordered. Because, quite frankly, the educational system as currently constructed is not meant to educate the children. And quite simply, most of the things and ways that it is constructed is not applicable to success outside of that. And just a small example. For instance, in school, you're taught to avoid failure at all costs. Well, while true, no one wants to fall on their face in any endeavor. You show me any successful business person, athlete, whatever, inventor, even artist, and I will show you someone that has failed more times than you can imagine. The thing about it is, oftentimes in those failures, you learn a necessary lesson to achieve later and greater success. And the public miseducation system abhors that. Failure is wrong. Don't ever fail. Play it safe. And what it does is it teaches, basically what it does, look at even the curriculum. It teaches you how to be good worker bees for either the MIC, the military industrial complex, corporate America, or whatever. Because, and I know that it's gotten even more atrocious since I graduated. Where's the critical thinking class? Where is entrepreneurship, perceiving opportunities? These, and there may be some, sprinkled here and there, but by and large, these types of classes and things aren't being taught. You aren't taught how to think and develop creatively, to use those different attributes that you may have to better your own life and then even that of your community. You aren't taught that. You're taught how to get a job, how to work for someone else, even from that standpoint, which is totally, not the way, in one sense, to be successful. But then you look at some of the fallacies and things that are taught and perpetuated through that educational system. Things like Christopher Columbus discovered America, or, just some of the fallacies that are taught, even in terms of the founding of the country. Even if you want to get into a political deal, the Constitution isn't really taught, but that's a whole nother story. Or the fact that things of an African nature are minimized. Because there's a reason, and I just want to touch on this real quick. When they refer to other nations and continents, you know, they'll say North America, and then within that, they'll say Canada, or the United States, or Mexico, or wherever. Now, when it comes to things African, they speak about the continent as if it's just one big country. And, you know, there have even been maps to where it's made to look smaller than it really is. And we're talking about one of the largest land masses on the planet. But just aside from that, you know, things of African nature are glazed over and glossed over to minimize. But then you have to understand that, you know, if you're in America, then you're getting a Eurocentric education in the first place. And that's why you would think, you know, Columbus was over here first, when there's evidence that people from the continent were here long before Columbus. Even the Vikings were here before that. You know, the Olmecs and all these other people were here, but that's just one small issue with it. And now you even see it with you know, getting the children to wear uniforms, which I peeped this when it first started happening. And the excuse was, oh, well, you know, we're doing this to cut down on kids getting ripped on, which is totally asinine. Even if you put them all in potato sacks, kids are going to rip on each other. It's what children do, you know. We did it when I was coming along, you know. It's just what happens, you know. And the real reason is, if you can indoctrinate them into being in uniform for the school now, then it'll be a lot easier to put them in prison uniforms, you know, to serve the prison industry and give corporations an ultra cheap source of labor, military uniforms to, you know, serve the interest of the military-industrial complex and international bankers, or what have you, and to fit inside that. So that's what that's about. That's what they're not telling. And trust and believe that all these school boards are crying foul. They're cutting these programs, in some cases, that are actually beneficial to children. Meanwhile, you have people in the school systems who are making multiple six figures. Go figure that. So that's why you have more people, you know, looking to even homeschool, or you have these other school systems popping up. You know, I definitely, the more you learn that the public education system is now doing more harm than good. You know, particularly if you're a black person, and I definitely agree with Dr. Johnson and so many other people that perhaps we need to look at even starting our own schools and teaching and educating our children in a relevant way. You know, it's happening in other communities, and we're definitely behind the curve on that one. So if we had children, I would definitely look at possibly homeschooling them, because if that was possible. And there's a lot of resources out there for parents looking to do that. So that's my take on it. You know, feel free to leave any feedback, comments below. But as always, you know, just do it respectfully, and hopefully we can have a good intellectual discussion on it. And even if we disagree on some things, those comments are welcome as well. This is The Truth Will Rise. I'm going to end this video signing out. Wishing everyone peace, power, and positivity. And I'm out.